Hey Sneak Peekers, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Sydney.
Tonight we have a very exciting review of upcoming movie Dune, a recap of the DC fandom,
And what the people of UT have to say about Chris Pratt as the new voice of Mario. All that and more right now.
Hey Sydney, have you heard of the IATSE strike?
Yes, I have. And I saw some news about how they reached a deal the other day.
That's right. On Saturday, producers reached a tentative contract deal.
This deal included better wages, living conditions, working conditions, employer-funded benefits, daily 10-hour turnarounds, weekend rest periods of 54 hours, and more.
This new 3-year deal will now go to union members for ratification.
I'm very happy that they were able to reach a deal.
Me too.
In more exciting news, for us Austinites, the annual Austin Film Festival is ramping up.
That's right. The festival begins this Thursday, the 21st.
I am super excited that the festival is happening this year.
Me too. I am super ready to see The French Dispatch.
That movie does look good, but Spencer looks way better.
No way. But anyways, an exciting update for all of our Bachelor fans. Michelle Young's season of The Bachelorette should be premiering tonight on ABC.
I know our Bachelor reporter is very excited for this.
Oh, for sure. And I'm excited for his updates throughout the season.
Same. And in other news, today Disney announced delays in their upcoming movies.
That's right. These movies are primarily Marvel movies, so I know fans are upset.
I sure am upset. All of these movies have been pushed back by several months.
These movies include Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, The Marvels, and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
You can check out the new release dates for these movies on our social media at Sneak Peek TV.
But speaking of movies coming out, we have Michael here with us to give us an update about the box office.
Michael?
Thanks, guys. Well, ever since audiences began migrating back to the movies, studios and exhibitors alike have had their fingers crossed for big wins at the box office. After over a year without business for theaters, the returns became about more than money. They became a signal for the future of movie distribution as a whole. The first slate of post-lockdown films premiered around 4 months ago, and in the time since, it's been a journey of ups and downs, wins and losses, experiments, and those ever-pesky variants. After a strong blockbuster debut in March and April by Kong vs. Godzilla, the first lineup of theatrical comeback in May included more mid-budget heavy hitters such as In the Heights, The Conjuring 3, Cruella, and A Quiet Place Part 2. The unexpected champion of that batch was A Quiet Place with its $297 million total, a much-needed bounce back for exhibitors. In the Heights was expected to be a summer favorite, but struggled to around an estimated $43 million total. Although the film was loved by critics and audiences alike, it was the first victim of the summer to a pattern that would continue for the rest of the season: the day and date release. You see, to a storm of showbiz controversy, Warner Brothers made the decision to release every film in their 2021 slate on HBO Max the same day they premiered in theaters, starting with Wonder Woman 1984 last December. Disney followed suit with its Mulan-tested Disney Plus Premier Access program with Raya and the Last Dragon. The expected consequence of this plan was that films released only in theaters would do far better, and that was the case when Fast 9 brought back the franchise energy with a soaring $716 million worldwide. And although studios which took Warner's strategy certainly weren't slacking with the streaming numbers, the slim box office returns and shortened release windows for films that cost hundreds of millions to make and should have been summer tentpoles were not a good look for them or for the theater chains. $161 million total for Space Jam, $167 for The Suicide Squad, $212 for Jungle Cruise. The biggest upset was Disney and Marvel Studios' Black Widow. Although ScarJo's final outing as the Avengers Super Spy had not only the strongest pandemic debut of the time at $80 million, but also the largest theatrical premiere since 2019, Star Wars Episode 9, it suffered a 67% drop by its second weekend due to its availability on the now infamous Disney Plus Premier Access. Though, it would be dishonest not to mention the elephant in the room, the ever-dreaded Delta. It didn't help anyone in Hollywood that already hesitant moviegoers now had to deal with an even more contagious variant of the deadly virus which closed up shop in the first place. This meant that even when a film was theater exclusive, there were some definite stumbles. M. Night Shyamalan had the lowest opening of his career with a $16 million first weekend for Old, which eventually made its way to $90 million, and Paramount's hopes for a G.I. Joe revival crashed with the $33 million worldwide total for Snake Eyes. Ouch. But as cases started to decline, the box office began to rally once more with another unexpected hero in Ryan Reynolds' Free Guy. Analysts estimated a meager 15 to 18 million opening for the Deadpool star, only to be upset by a 28 million debut and very strong legs over the coming weeks. But we can't talk about great August wins without Nia DaCosta's Candyman. Forget summer blockbusters. Summer was not a great time for lower budget films, with the likes of Stillwater, Joe Bell, A24's comedy Zola, and their medieval epic Green Knight practically getting left out of the picture. But Candyman stood tall with a surprise 22 million debut against its 25 million budget and projections of a 15 million opening. DaCosta's horror reboot set another pandemic milestone as she became the first black female director to top the US box office, and the film charted at a strong 75 million, making 3 times back its original budget. Disney finally got their mojo back in September with Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. The film opened just a little bit below Black Widow at 70 million, but Marvel's Master of Kung Fu had the biggest Labor Day weekend opening of all time and held the top spot for 4 weeks straight. Very big wins for a newcomer franchise, even in the MCU. No more premiere access, Shang-Chi currently triumphs at a 405 million total worldwide. 1 month later, James Bond brought back the international cinema circuit with No Time to Die already surpassing 400 million in its first few weeks, thanks largely in part to 007's native UK and other European markets, compensating for a slightly below average US opening. And after a few release date shifts, Venom: Let There Be Carnage became the champion of 2021 with a 90 million US debut, before dropping 64% the next weekend due to Bond's US premiere. Now, with Dune's much anticipated US premiere this weekend, the Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya vehicle leads a packed lineup over the next few months, which includes Edgar Wright's Last Night in Soho, Sony's Ghostbusters, Marvel's The Eternals, West Side Story, Encanto, Matrix Resurrections, and who can forget Spider-Man: No Way Home. It's a tough battleground to fight on, but things are looking bright in Tinseltown once again, and fingers crossed our beloved movie theaters aren't going anywhere after all. Now,
Sydney, I don't know if you've seen the amazing picture of Zendaya and Timothée Chalamet recently.
I have, and I have never been more excited to see Dune this weekend.
I'm hesitant to see it because I feel like my expectations are too high.
Well, that's why we have Ryan and Timo here, who got to see Dune last Tuesday.
Let's hear what they thought about it.
The year is 2021. For half a century, filmmakers have been trying to adapt Frank Herbert's sci-fi epic, Dune. First Jodorowsky, then Lynch, now Villeneuve. He who controls the spice, controls the box office.
Hey Sneak Peekers, I'm Ryan.
and I'm Timo.
Denis Villeneuve's Dune comes out this Friday, and we had the lucky chance to see it early. And now we're gonna let you know what we thought.
As a huge Dune fan, seeing this version early was a big treat, and I enjoyed it. It just feels so good getting to see a movie that I've been waiting years for. I've got some thoughts about it, but first we need to take a little trip away from Earth and head to the desert planet Arrakis.
It's hot. So, let's talk about Dune. The story of Dune is immensely complicated and large. The book itself is over 700 pages long, which makes it understandable that Villeneuve chose to split it into 2 parts. Dune follows Paul Atreides as his familial, intergalactic house takes over Arrakis and the extremely valuable spice that is mined from its sands. I've never read the book, but there's no doubt it's iconic, and for good reason. The world building is incredible. And in that sense, I like the story and the film a lot. But at times, I felt that it was cold and distant, partially because I found it hard to get emotionally invested in Timothée Chalamet's Paul. I'm not sure if that's because of the character itself or because of the performance, which was sometimes incredible, but other times felt a little wooden. Or maybe it's because we only get half of the story, and therefore end halfway through Paul's emotional arc. When we eventually get the second film, maybe I'll look back in hindsight and everything will fit together perfectly. But as is, not everything connected in the way I really wanted it to.
Having read the book, I don't want to say too much because not only are there spoilers for this movie, but there are for the next one as well. What I will say is that nearly all of the important story beats laid out in the novel are present and well adapted to the screen. The cast is a great representation of the many, many characters. Some of my personal favorites, Oscar Isaac really fills the shoes of Duke Leto, and Stellan Skarsgård makes Baron Vladimir Harkonnen a truly evil and menacing sight. The technical work here is all around great. The sound is fantastic and the cinematography beautiful, although at times the colors can be a little bit muted. There are some action sequences that just won't let you go, and the fight choreography is plain awesome. Compared to reading words on the page, the big screen at a movie theater is the only way to watch an all-out sci-fi battle.
Featuring interplanetary politics and gigantic spaceships, Dune is definitely a massive story. That being said, for some reason the scale didn't always match up. At times, the set pieces were awe-inspiring and I was all in, but on occasion it seemed like the shadow of the iconic novel overshadowed the film. That being said, when the set pieces hit, they hit. There is no lack of spectacle in Dune, and for that reason alone, it's worth seeing on the big screen. I did feel like Dune had a bit of a pacing problem though. It's definitely a movie that you either feel is slow but rewarding, or one that meanders and ends right when it's getting good. I was more so in the first camp, slow but rewarding, but even then I admit there were times, especially near the end, where I wish the story would move a little quicker.
On the editing front, the film works hard to communicate many of the less physical elements from the novel. There are mind readers and psychic powers that have no physical form, and yet we still have to learn about them. The story is filled with prophecy, and the film reminds us in critical moments what exactly has been foretold and how it relates to the scene at hand. But at the same time, it's never heavy-handed in reminding us about important things. I also really enjoyed the percussive score, and the CGI of both immense spaceships and even larger sandworms is just great. For people who've read the book, Dune is a great adaptation and a fun film. I give it 4 out of 5 stars.
Being unfamiliar with Dune worked both to my advantage and disadvantage. On one hand, it let me experience this incredible story for the first time, which was awesome. On the other hand, it left me in the dark about character arcs and relationships that might have made more sense if I knew how the whole story would play out. Either way, I really hope they greenlight the second film so we can get those conclusions. Overall, I liked Dune, but I admit it had areas that I didn't love. I'll rate the movie 3.5 out of 5 stars, but I will be watching it again when it comes out this Friday, and I urge you to do so as well.
Hey, did you feel that?
That's all from us. Now back to the hosts.
Thanks, guys.
I'm definitely going to see Dune because I always have support Timothée Chalamet.
Well, in terms of fans, we have Nick here with us to talk about the DC fandom.
Take it away, Nick.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Nick, and I'm here to tell you everything there is to know about the upcoming films and television shows on the other side of Warner Brothers. This past weekend, DC's biggest event of the year, DC Fandome, showed us everything there is to come to big and little screens. Starting off with Black Adam, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson let us know how exactly the hierarchy of power in the DC universe has changed. Post-production on the film has just begun, but that didn't stop The Rock from giving us a first look at an electrifying opening sequence from the film, as well as first looks at the suits for the Justice Society of America members that will appear. Next up, horror director James Wan brought some very colorful and fantasy-esque concept art for the upcoming Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, promising the sequel to his 2018 hit to be very fun, full of action, and not afraid to embrace its fantasy elements. On the television side of things, the Suicide Squad director James Gunn and the cast of the upcoming Peacemaker show presented a brand new trailer for the series coming to HBO Max this coming January. New seasons of The Flash's CW's The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, and HBO Max's Superman and Lois, Stargirl, Doom Patrol, and Titans have all been confirmed, with the CW's Supergirl coming to an end with its 6th and final season. In animation, The Rock returned to present the very first teaser for his and Kevin Hart's DC League of Super Pets, in which the famous comedic duo will voice Krypto the Superdog and Ace the Bat Hound, respectively. New looks at a couple of animated series were also revealed, such as Season 3 of HBO Max's Harley Quinn, a brand new season of Young Justice, whose first 2 episodes have already been released, and the upcoming new take on Clark Kent, Lois Lane, and Jimmy Olsen in My Adventures with Superman. Director Matt Reeves and producer J.J. Abrams also introduced their new animated film noir Batman Caped Crusader. Although it will be set in the 1940s, Reeves and Abrams hope to deal with the characters in a more modern and inclusive way. Back to the DC Extended Universe, after many, many years of production, we have finally gotten our first look at Andy Muschietti's The Flash movie. The teaser Ezra Miller presented provided us with first looks at the Flash's brand new suit, as well as Sasha Calle's Supergirl and the return of Michael Keaton's Batman. Shazam himself, Zachary Levi, stopped by to show everyone the brand new suits that the Shazam kids will wear in 2023's Shazam Fury of the Gods, as well as first looks at Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu, and rising actress Rachel Zegler, who will be portraying the Furious Gods as mentioned in the title. Director David F. Sandberg brought along some concept art showing the mythical environments he will finally get to explore in this sequel. HBO Max brought us a couple of treats as well. Concept art for the streaming service's exclusive films Blue Beetle and Batgirl were released, depicting the heroes' very comic-accurate suits. Both of these films are currently in pre-production with no word as of yet on when they will be released to the world. And last but certainly not least in the slightest is a film every single person on Earth has been waiting for. Matt Reeves' The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Paul Dano, Andy Serkis, and Colin Farrell, got a brand new and highly explosive trailer showing off more of Kravitz's Catwoman, Dano's Riddler, and Farrell's Penguin than anyone could have anticipated. Most of these films and television seasons will be released in 2022, and I, for one, cannot wait and will be here for them all.
Now, I love Mario, but I'm not too sure about the new cast for the upcoming Mario movie.
Me too.
We sent Mason and Simi on the street to see what the people of UT have to think about the new Mario cast.
Let's hear what they have to say about Chris Pratt voicing Mario. Mason and Simi?
Welcome back, Sneak Peekers. This is Simi.
And this is Mason.
And welcome back to Person on the Street, where we go around campus asking random people random questions.
On the street.
Are you ready, Mason?
I could not be more excited.
All right, let's go.
First, of course, is Mario, who will be played by Chris Pratt. He's so cool. Mario will be talking a lot in the movie. Please look forward to Mario as performed by the very talented Chris Sun.
Any initial thoughts?
That's cool. I don't know, it seems about right. The only thing I know about the movie is that Seth Rogen is playing Donkey Kong. So the casting seems to be spot on, I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm very surprised. I didn't know that was a thing.
Duh. Were you aware of that?
I was not. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Bob Hoskins is a better actor, right?
Luigi, we got a broken dishwasher at the Riverfront Cafe. You know what that means? Yeah. We got Mike.
I hear that movie wasn't very good.
How do you feel about Chris Pratt just in general, other acting in real life?
See, Chris Pratt, Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, they all kind of are one person in my head. Yep, I all see them as the same.
They're strong. My feelings are strong about Chris Pratt. Guardians of the Galaxy killed it as Star-Lord.
Yes.
What, like Jurassic World? That's all I know. I don't know what else he's in. I've seen Parks and Rec, but I don't. Is he in movies?
So, who in your dream casting would play each of the brothers?
Between Mario and Luigi?
Yes.
Okay. Matthew McConaughey as Mario and as Luigi.
Yes.
Okay. Owen Wilson.
I'm interested with what Danny DeVito would do.
Oh my God! I've been saying Danny DeVito.
Did I just do your job for you?
I guess so.
You're fired!
My mind's going blank right now. Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig,
straight from Bond to Mario.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
$40,500,000 all in.
All right, so I have one last question for you, Mike. Can you do your best "It's a Mario" impression?
It's a me, Mario. It's a me, Mario.
It's me, Mario.
Great.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. It's me, Mario. Wait, you were really good.
It's a me, a Mario.
Oh, okay.
It's a me, a Mario.
Okay.
It's a me, a Mario.
It's a me, a Mario.
No, very good.
It's a me, a Mario. That's not the voice. You'll have to wait to hear the voice, but we've been working hard at it, and I'm really excited to announce that I'm going to be the voice of that video game that I dreamed about playing as a kid. Dreams come true.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that was great. I'm definitely excited to see what Chris Pratt does with the voice of Mario.
Me too. And now for a segment on the Netflix show that everyone's been talking about, Squid Game. Take it away, Amanda.
Good evening, sneak peekers. My name is Amanda Diaz, and today I wanted to talk to y'all about a small up-and-coming show that you might have heard of, Squid Game. Jokes aside, it's a new Netflix Korean series directed by filmmaker Hong Dong-hyuk that has become an international sensation. In case you have somehow missed a conversation that has dominated audiences and social media, the show follows 456 contestants, all facing mountains of debt, who accept an invitation to compete in a series of children's games for a life-changing prize. However, what they do not know are the deadly costs they will face if they fail. Now, since I do not wish to spoil anything, that's all I'm going to say, but for now. But trust me, if you haven't watched it yet, you need to. Since its release on September 17, the Korean thriller has reached the top of Netflix's most watched shows in 94 different countries, and it is close to becoming the most viewed piece of content in any language. However, all this fame has come as a surprise to the director, who actually wrote the initial script back in 2009, which was continually rejected by Korean studios for being too violent and an impossible idea to create. However, Netflix gave it the green light in 2018, allowing him to develop the show we have now. The success of the series can not only be measured in views, but also followers. Fan favorite Ho Yeon-chung, who plays Kong, is a model and actress. Since starring in Squid Game, she has grown her following on Instagram from a couple 100,000 to over 20 million. She is also now the international model and face for Louis Vuitton. I mean, talk about being this accomplished at only 27 years old. Squid Game has been receiving raving reviews, amassing a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I couldn't agree more. This thriller was filled to the brim with plot twists, keeping me on the edge of my seat for all 9 episodes. However, this show definitely comes with a warning for those who do not like violence or blood, because that seems to be the show's specialty. Fair warning though, there were parts so gruesome, even I had to look the other way. Although violent, the show is able to discuss many different societal aspects too, concerning family, debt, and the longing people have for a better life. The discussion of these topics in such an extreme environment really made them stand out. The fact that these 456 cash-strapped individuals would continually compete for their lives for a cash prize touches on the idea of an overworking and joyless society that we face in our modern world. People would rather die than not have money. Something, although seemingly far-reaching and out there, might not be as far off as viewers think. Contrasting these ideas against children's games, bringing back their youthful ideologies, and showing how these games and joy are a thing of the past now that they have grown up. Squid Game uses dark attire as a way to push the plot forward, which I think they use beautifully. However, the different and extravagant settings sold the series to me. Filled with bright colors, fun games, and oversized playgrounds, you cannot help but appeal to your inner child, which the show uses to illustrate the extremities of these challenges. Once they enter back into Korea, the streets are dull and gray, devoid of color, and we know that we have once again entered the real world. And the realities of being an adult settle back in, with family strains and debt lurking in their shadows. The characters were another integral part of the show, and I truly felt connected to them by the end. All of the main cast is extremely different from one another. Gi-hun is a scammer trying to make the best of a bad situation. Sung-woo is a failed overachiever. Dok-soo is a schoolyard bully. Ali is an immigrant trying to make a new life for himself. And Kong is a protective older sister. Despite their differences, the actors and characters are able to create these deep and emotional connections within the games, giving them depth and meaning and making the competitions increasingly more emotional, thrilling, and monstrous. The detective, Jun-ho, who slowly discovers and reveals the inner workings of the game, was an interesting and intimate way to reveal the true horrors of the competition. Overall, I would give Squid Game a 9 out of 10. Though it was definitely a bit too violent for me at times, and the beginning couple of episodes were a little slow, I did truly have a lot of fun with the show. It made my heart race and got my adrenaline pumping, and the show has been able to break down barriers in American entertainment, allowing an international series in another language to enter the scene, something we rarely get to experience as viewers. The characters, the sets, the story, the thrills, everything about this show is so exciting and thrilling. Your head will be reeling and you will be stuck on the edge of your seat for all 9 episodes. While we are still waiting for the official go-ahead on Season 2, the series left off on a major cliffhanger. Fans are definitely hoping for another exploration of this twisted world. Who knows what we will see in Season 2? Maybe deathly musical chairs or killer hide-and-go-seek, whatever it is. I cannot wait to see what they do next. All right, that is all I have for y'all tonight, but now I am definitely going to try my hand at the Dalgona Challenge from Episode 3. Till next time, sneak peekers.
Thanks, Amanda.
Yeah, thank you. And sneak peekers, I hope to see you all at the premiere of Dune on Friday.
I will definitely be there.
That's all for tonight, folks, but be sure to join us next week to get the latest in pop culture.
Also, be sure to follow us on social media at Sneak Peek TV.
I'm Cindy Kerr.
And I'm Andrew Orticio.
See you next week, sneak peekers.